It is Let's Talk Arts and Entertainment on WMAY. Several things going on this weekend, a couple of different shows. It is the second weekend of the show Stop Kiss at the UIS Studio Theater, from the UIS Theater. And with me is the director of that production, joining me once again, Missy Thibodeaux-Thompson. How are you doing?
I'm good, Kevin. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for being on. It's the second weekend of the show Stop Kiss. This is a show that has not ever been done in the Springfield area, but you do have some history with the production. So tell us a little bit about the show Stop Kiss and what's it about and what people can expect to see from it.
Well, yeah, it's I did actually direct this 15 years ago when I was teaching at Illinois College back in 2006, right before actually I moved over to and started at UIS. And this is our second weekend. We have two more shows. This play by Diana Sun was first produced in 1998, and it is, Diana Sun herself describes it as a love story.
Okay.
And it is a play that centers around these two young women in New York City, and they meet under sort of unusual circumstances, a friend of a friend of a friend, you know, right. Sort of, and they develop a friendship and a relationship. And throughout the course of this, they begin to recognize feelings for one another. And unfortunately, something also occurs that is very tragic and unfortunate. And the play sort of pivots around that. And we get to see the interactions of these two women before that event and after that event, but the chronology of the play jumps back and forth in time.
It's interesting. That sounds very interesting and a very deep show there. It's interesting all around. And so that is the first time this is coming to the Springfield, or has come to the Springfield area, because it is the second weekend of it. What's the response been to this show? Because I've seen, of course, a couple things online saying this is great. So how's the response been?
Well, I'm happy that you've seen things online saying that it's great. The response has been really, really positive. And last weekend, after our Sunday matinee, and then last night after our Thursday night show, we had post-show discussions with our cast and crew, our company members, and members of the audience. And last Sunday, we had someone from our campus organization, GSSS, we like to call it, which is Gender and Sexuality Student Services. And then last night, we had someone from the Phoenix Center in town who joined us for the post-show discussion. And the reactions have been really positive. And it's a play that you said, oh, it sounds really deep. And it is, but it's also, there's humor. There's Diana Sun's dialogue is just so beautifully conversational. And I'm paraphrasing a wonderful comment by George C. Wolfe, who produced the original production, that she crafts language in such a way, and she captures the way that we tap dance around certain things when we're not quite sure how to approach someone, and so the dialogue is really, really conversational and very contemporary and very accessible. There's also language issues in terms of, that some people, that really is offensive language, but it's important to the historical context of the piece. In terms of what happens within these women, and so the reactions have been really positive. People have been have reacted in a way that they identify with these women as human beings who are also simply discovering who they are. They're figuring out their own identity, and play is just near and dear to my heart. I just love it. I think it's such a beautiful play, and ever since I directed it before, I've been teaching it for years and years and years in various classes, and I just really love the piece.
It sounds really great. They have a lot of different things going on there, and I got to say that and there are so many pieces of theater or movies or whatever that you think of where you sort of know it has a sort of dialogue that you can sort of kind of wrap your head around. You're like, oh, this is very I know this, but it's really cool when you get those like conversational, so like you're saying that how people sort of talk to each other, maybe talking over each other, or sort of, I'm not sure how to, say this or whatever. So that is cool. That is a really cool aspect of that show there.
Yeah. We're like I said, and I've just been so pleased with our company. We've been operating under very strict COVID safety guidelines on campus. And as well as audience members have to either show proof of vaccination, an ID and proof of vaccination, or a negative test 2 days prior to attending. But I will say I was better last night, but last weekend, the first 3 shows and even our preview night, when I gave my curtain speech and welcomed everyone to the theater for the first time in 2 years. See, I'm getting a little clap just thinking about of having a live theater performance with live human actors and live human audience members. It has been such a treat, and we've been so happy that people have been respecting the COVID protocols and the safety protocols, and we've had wonderful audiences. So I'm really happy about it.
That's great. I'm very happy about that for you and everything, because that's the COVID mitigations and things. It's like a lot of people. It's like, all right, we've been doing this for a while, but that is how we're getting back to theater, and that's how things are gonna be for a bit. And that's how it's gonna be for things opening up. But I think it's great. It is. I've been going back to see a couple of shows. I helped out backstage, but I haven't been on stage performing yet, but I've been at shows, and of course it's just we're backstage, and it is so great that we were so long without like live in-person performances, and it is so great.
Yeah, and I will add, and of course, obviously, because of the state regulation, but our campus as well. Obviously, everyone is wearing masks in the theater. Our actors have been approved by our campus safety team during performance that they can remove their masks during performance because of vaccines and everything, which is great. But yeah, it was a wonderful rehearsal process, and very different from the last time I talked to you last spring, which that rehearsal process was completely online, virtual, very strange, very unusual. And so, I mean, even at our very first company meeting, when we had our first read-through in company meeting, I got a little verklempt then. I was like, look at us. Oh my God, we're all masked sitting together in the theater. This is amazing. So yeah, it's been really great. And our cast is largely students. We have one community member in the cast, and similarly with our company members, largely students, but we have community member as our stage manager. And it's been so wonderful to be able to work in person with theater artists. Our brilliant scenic designer, Dathan Powell, has hit it out of the ballpark again. And he also designed lights for this production. And he's really created a beautiful framework for us to tell this story. New York is the center of the story, and it is 1998. And so it was kind of interesting, especially working with students. I realized, oh my gosh, 1998, that's a period play for them.
Kind of is.
Yeah, so that was making me feel a little old. But yeah, I've just been so excited to be able to do what I do, and to do it in the theater and in the rehearsal hall with people. So we really hope people can come out. We have 2 more shows tonight and tomorrow night, both at 7:30.
Wonderful. The show, yes, it is this tonight and tomorrow. How can people get tickets, and how can they watch it in person? Is there also an online option, or is it just in person?
There is not an online streaming option.
Okay.
Our royalties and copyright were simply for a live performance. Our UIS Theater website is www.uis.edu/theater. If you go down and scroll to tickets, it'll take you to the information to the Performing Arts Services ticket office, and they're selling our tickets for us. And on their website also has the COVID safety protocols that are in place. People have to get their Vax card checked, so it might be a good idea to arrive a few minutes early, and also with parking issues and stuff, just to make sure there's enough time to get the Vax cards checked before you can actually go into the theater.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Because movies are coming back, but plays aren't. It's not like the movies where there's 20 minutes of ads and stuff at the beginning. The show starts when it starts. So make sure you get there with enough time, and something where it's a good thing to get back into getting that. We have to, getting back into doing all these theater things. It's wonderful. So it's there in person. So that is tonight and tomorrow. Missy, thank you so much for joining me. Break a leg to you and the rest of the cast this weekend, and I'm sure we'll be talking again sometime soon.
Thanks so much, Kevin. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's Let's Talk Arts and Entertainment on WMAY.